Hey everybody, we're back tonight to do some cooking. Are you ready? So, we're going to make something that's one of my personal favorites tonight, and that's cornbread. I know when I made the beans, if you watched the recipe on the beans, then you saw that I told you we would be making cornbread. This is one of the easiest and most delicious cornbread recipes that I have ever made or tried. Of course, I've tweaked it to make it the way I like it, and that's what I want you to do. I want you to make every one of these recipes that we do. Tweak it, change it, make it your own until it tastes just like you like it. So, we're going to start with the cornbread. So, we're going to use flour, we're going to use cornmeal, granulated sugar, salt, baking powder, an egg, milk, can't reach it, milk, some vegetable oil, and some corn. Now, I am using canned corn for this, and I'll explain that to you here later. So we're going to start with, 1 second, I've got to grab my spatula here. We're going to start with 1 cup of regular flour. We're going to add 1 cup of the cornmeal. We're going to add 2/3 of a cup of sugar. And then we're going to add 3½ teaspoons of the baking powder. I'm going to drop this in my sink because you know I have the water run. And I'm just going to move this out of the way real quick so I have a little more room as we go. But I thought it's easier if I put all the ingredients out so you can see it. So I take my little spatula and I just incorporate and stir all that up. Now you can use a regular whisk if you like, but I am really partial to my wooden spatulas and my wooden spoons. Of course, those little wire whisks are absolutely perfect for a lot of things, especially like gravies or thickenings that you really don't need anything. But look at this. So it's a little dark in here. Let me turn on another light. Sure. That's a little better. Sorry about that dark earlier, but this way you can see all the flour and the cornmeal is just all mixed together really well. And then you're going to take that egg, and what I do with the remaining ingredients is I just make kind of a little hole in the middle, and then I drop that in. It's my egg. I'm going to go ahead and just pour the milk right on top of the egg. I'm going to add that vegetable oil, which is 1/3 cup. And I'm going to put this in my sink, so bear with me. And let me put my milk away real quick. About that, a little noisy and leaving you hanging, huh? Anyhow, so then I'm just gonna break that egg, and then I'm going to, as you see, it's all just liquidy in there, and then I'm just gonna stir it around. Now, you don't want to over stir this batter. It's gonna be pretty thick. You're just gonna get it all moistened and all together. So there we go. And it's going to look like that. So a very thick, do you see that? Very thick kind of batter. Now, the last thing I'm going to add is I do have a can of corn. I'm going to put about half of it in. This, of course, is completely optional. I like those little corn pieces in my cornbread. Some people prefer not to have that, and that's fine. You can also use fresh corn. If you're going to do that, I would cut about 2 cobs and cut the corn off of the cobs. Unfortunately, I didn't have any fresh corn right now, so I'm just going to eyeball it and put about 1/2 can of corn in there. So don't you like my measurements? I just shake it till it looks good. Just shake it, shake it, shake it. Anyhow, and then I'm going to mix that all up again. So I don't want it with lots of corn, but you can see, and I'll turn it again so you can see. See how that's got the corn all mixed up in it? So that's what you're going to do. Now I'm going to grab a spatula, which I guess I really didn't have my act together very good today. And I'm going to scrape that little wooden one off. And then let me show you this little trick. Well, if I can get it off of here. There we go. I had it on too tight. So I have just a gallon-sized bag, right? And I have cut the corner off already. And I'm just going to put that bag with that cut corner down into a bowl. Just down like that. Now, I'll move this so you can see a little bit better. And then I'm just going to take all of that batter that I've made and just pour it right into that bag inside the bowl. Making sure I scrape all that yumminess out of there. Man, I do love cornbread. So what's your favorite way to eat cornbread? Is it with honey? Is it plain? Do you like it with butter? How is it you like it? Well, I like it both ways. I like it with honey and with butter, but both ways. Again, this goes in my sink. Now, I'm just going to pull that bag up. I don't need to seal it. And where's my open corner? Right there. So I'm going to hold that open corner up. I have a little muffin pan here, and I'm just going to take that little corner and pour it down in there. Hopefully, I'll be able to get it so it doesn't make quite as big of a mess if I was trying to pour it into this little muffin pan, because you know how that can really run everywhere. And sometimes when you're even spooning it in there, it just makes it more difficult. So I do this with a lot of my batters if I'm pouring it into muffin pans. And this is a neat little trick. If you haven't done it, then try it. I think you'll really like it. This may be something that you already do. Woo, that one got a little bit full. That's going to be a big daddy muffin right there. So we'll just continue to fill these up. Now, I normally just make this in like a 9-inch pie pan, or you can do it in a small cake pan. But I have something coming up, and I want to take these little muffins to it. And I'll tell you more about that event that I'm going to be at next week. And it's super exciting, just something fun, but kind of exciting. So I'm going to get some more down in that corner. Looks like I'm going to have a little left over. You know what I'm going to do? I have a really small bread pan, one of those little mini muffin or bread pans. I'll just put the rest of it in that. Okay. So as you can see, it filled up with not too many big messes on it. I'll just take my fingers and kind of wipe that off so it doesn't burn on there. And again, you know me, I don't mind getting my hands a little bit messy when I cook. So now I'm going to put this in a 400-degree oven. That's pretty hot, but these aren't going to cook very long. I think this size is going to take about 10 minutes. If you're making it in a cake pan, then you're going to do about 20 to 25 minutes until it's done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop this for a second, and when I come back, these will be already cooked, and then we'll share some more. So see you in a minute. All right, everybody, so the cooking is done. I'm going to adjust this a little bit. Sorry about that. All right, so first, here is that little bit of extra that I had in the pan, and I just have this really small, it's pretty shallow, ooh, it's a little warm still, loaf pan. And I have a great recipe for leftover cornbread, or like this, that I have a little bit left, and I'll get to that another time. But, ooh, you better watch that for that recipe, because it's really good. All right, so another thing I wanted to tell you was, you know that corn, I had a can of, that I only used about half of it. Well, what do you do with a half a can of corn? Do you just throw it away? Well, I don't like to waste food. So what I do with things like that is I just get the little freezer bags, not the sandwich bags, but the ones that are actually freezer bags. And I just poured the rest of that half a can of corn in there. So not enough to really eat or whatever. And then I'm just going to pop that in the freezer. So guess what? When I go to make some vegetable soup or something, I just add those little bits of leftover in. And you can really use up food without being wasteful. Now, here's what we made tonight. It's a little warm. So here are all of those muffins. I made just the little bitty muffins. Look at that. Ooh, they look good. And here is the finished product. So I would serve this like this. I have just some melted butter here. And then you can just drizzle it right over it. But let me take the butter off so we can actually see it better. Wouldn't that be fun to have that sitting on a table, a couple of those, if you're having maybe some soup, and have these little tiny mini muffins at each place with a couple? Wouldn't that be fun? So here we go. That is so good. I just love the flavor of this cornbread. This isn't Jiffy Mix, let me tell you. This is homemade with cornmeal. So I hope you try this. And for those people, remember, that say you can't cook, you could do this. And I want to hear from you. Here's the deal. Somebody that has said or thought they couldn't cook, I want you to let me know which one of my recipes you've done, and I want you to let me know how it turned out, because this is so exciting, showing people that think they can't cook how to do it. So until next time, everybody, see you later.